Hello. Okay. So I've been reading in my two wonderful texts, Words of My Perfect Teacher, and earlier, like a couple of weeks ago, in, whoops, everything's falling, The Torch for the Definitive Meaning. Okay. And one of the things that I have been reading, one of their sections, is to contemplate how difficult it is to actually be reborn as a human being and to have a precious human existence. And precious human existence is different from an ordinary human existence in that you have the time and the opportunity to practice the dharma. And that time and opportunity, that opportunity is like a once in a million rare opportunity. And these thoughts are meant to spur one on in urgency that it's important to practice right now. And I remember, from a Western point of view, a similar feeling arising in me when I was in grade 8 in biology class, and we were learning about reproduction. And so I wasn't thinking about karma, and I wasn't thinking about reincarnation. I wasn't thinking about things in those terms. I was really just thinking about how completely impossible it is that we're even alive compared to the billions of combinations that are possible between each act of copulation. It was just mind blowing, you know? And I didn't know what to do with that feeling because it wasn't just the rarity of the specific combination that makes up my genetics. It was the fact that out of all the billions of people and billions of couples on this earth that my parents actually met, you know, it's it's just astonishing. And so we are lucky to be here in the bodies that we have. I am lucky that I have a human existence in this place, in this time. Also lucky that I was born in the place that I'm born, which wasn't a guarantee, as my mother isn't from here, right? So my mother had to travel to meet my father, which was an accident, a complete and utter coincidence. And they not even compatible. My mother only had one child. It was me. That's lucky. And here I am in Montreal, and it just so happens that Tibetan Buddhists fleeing Tibet during the Chinese initial years of the Chinese occupation and takeover of Tibet. And it was pretty tragic and terrible, and a lot of people had to, if they could, if they were fortunate enough, they had to leave. And because they left, those, and they settled all around, they were kind of followed by teachers, by lamas who had experience in teaching, and they also fled. And so the Dharma centers sprang up in the places where the Tibetans went. And Montreal is one of those places. And that I resonate with the Dharma, like I can actually listen to it and it makes sense to me, and I feel connected to it even as a Westerner when I hear it in its, with all of its terminology and all of its like borrowed from Sanskrit or Pali words. Those words didn't scare me when they could have, right? Like my granny, not my father's mother, but my mother's stepmother, um, was a very devout Christian, and she was very unnerved by chanting. When she would hear chanting, right, we would bring recordings of chanting, and it would remind her of the devil, and she would feel like it was evil. You know, I could have just as easily encountered dharma and had negative feelings about it, but I didn't. I encountered it. It was strange to me, but it felt familiar and it felt good. It felt like I was attracted to it. That's also lucky. Right now, I am disabled enough that I can't work full time. And we are in a financial position for me to be disabled and dependent financially without suffering hardship or being unable to afford what we need to provide for our family, our children. So I'm in a really good position to spend hours a day reading and studying Dharma and trying to develop a meditation practice that is sustainable for me. So, what I'm going to do in September is I'm going to start volunteering somewhere. It'll either be in a school or in a hospital. If I don't spread the love, if I don't go around where I should be going to, then there's no point. You know? And I believe that working with young children is my calling. I just know that I'm a safe person and that I am able to help. And so that's what I should be doing. I should go help. I don't have like a ton of expertise, but like, so what? Anybody, any granny can go into a hospital and hold a baby and do good. Okay, so that's my musings for this morning. I'm thinking about my readings and talking out loud like I need to do in order to sort my thoughts. And as always, I deeply appreciate that you're listening. Having someone on the other end makes a difference for me. It pulls me to do it. It makes me think. It makes me organize my thoughts instead of keeping them in a jumble in my mind. It helps me more than you know. And I thank you. So I hope you have a wonderful day and find some moments for yourself. And oh, well, we're going to have this 1 minute coming up. I love you lots, and we'll see you again.